In the previous lesson, you have seen how to expose waste in a value stream. The waste due to bottleneck or idle time, the waste due to a mistake in the process, time-consuming tasks or useless back and forth between departments. Also, you have seen that waste is very likely a symptom of other problems that we need to analyze via root cause analysis. Just as mentioned in the module about lean manufacturing, we should aim to make some changes to address root causes and eventually redesign the process through two very important tools: Kaizen and value stream design. The first tool is Kaizen. Remember that Kaizen means change for better in Japanese. Kaizen is about testing quickly a process change without requiring lengthy approval in advance. It is about pushing a quick and dirty solution and observing how people react. Let's take an example. We were working with a corporate bank, and we realized that the documentation to support a risk approval was far too long, about 120 pages, and only a small part was actually necessary to make the decision. In the traditional improvement approach, you would send this documentation to all approvers and ask them to select all fields and data they want to keep. They would answer with a list covering all cases they have in their mind, including exceptions, and you would finally consolidate all answers. But a few months later, you will probably realize that very few fields can be dropped. As per the Kaizen approach, we did a workshop with a few representatives of approvers to define exactly what information was needed to make a proper decision in, say, 80% of cases. From there, we asked the participants to test the new value stream in real cases. While doing so, participants paid a particular attention to the implementation process in order to identify what did and what didn't work, and eventually fine-tune the solution. This approach is very powerful because it generates immediate excitement to do the quick simplification. Also, it doesn't prevent to change the initial quick and dirty solution based on real cases and real occurrences. After a few weeks of testing, the redesigned documentation could then be rolled out to all stakeholders and exceptions treated just as exception. Kaizen is not just a tool, it is a mindset. It is about not being afraid of failure, furthermore, see failure as an opportunity. Think 80-20 and focus on making a solid process covering 80% of cases without having to control all exceptions. Kaizen means not spending too long time searching for the perfect solution and pushing it to the people. Instead, it allows to run pilots in very short term so that people can pull the right solution themselves. The second tool is the value stream design. The aim is to redesign the value stream starting solely from the activities that create value. For example, a dispute management process in a medical technologies company used to take several weeks from the moment the hospital raised a complaint about the quality of devices and the moment the dispute was settled with a credit note or a replacement. Many departments were involved: sales to validate the request, customer service level 1 to dispatch, customer service level 2 to analyze the failure, logistic to verify transportation integrity, quality department to update procedures, procurement to validate back charge to suppliers, finance to approve the credit note. However, when we did the value stream mapping, we realized that the big majority of the value was created by the customer service level 2 when they could establish the responsibility of the failure and propose a settlement. So we designed a dream state where this activity was the only one in the process. Basically, when the client raises a complaint, customer service level 2 gets all the information and makes a settlement immediately. The design of a dream state is very important because it triggers disruptive ideas. But then we need to wake up and design an ambitious but realistic process. And so we did. We brainstormed on how to make it possible, how the client can send the minimum amount of information. In 50% of cases, a picture was sufficient to make a judgment. How this information can be dispatched immediately to an expert. How the settlement can be realized and immediately sent to the client. This description is a bit oversimplified, but the future state we designed was a real disruption, leading to resolution in less than a day in 50% of cases, higher customer satisfaction, and the involvement of other departments only when necessary. So when you redesign a value stream, you should start mapping only the activities that create value, which means, as you remember, about 10–20% of current state. This is your dream state. Then add all activities that transform the dream state in a possible future state within a realistic time frame. Usually 2 years allows you to be ambitious in the change while remaining pragmatic. Remember, dream and wake up. Identify all changes to be piloted in a very short term to move from the current to the future state. To close this lesson, I would like to add that these two tools are quite complementary. Kaizen is usually an incremental change to stop a root cause. So usually a quick win since applicable in short term with a great impact. Value stream design is a more disruptive change, driven by value creation, so more visionary, but also with more long-term impact. We recommend balancing both in order to have a good mix of quick wins and visionary and disruptive changes.